Hey, aloha, everybody, and welcome to the Jeff Reinebold Show. This is a big one, baby, because it is our first show of the new season. The NFL is back. The Lions and the Chiefs are about to tee it off, and we're here to pick every game of the week, and we're going to do that all year long, right? So I think you need to sit back, relax, and let me bring forth the man who is fast becoming the NFL authority on the Emerald Isle, Michael McQuaid. Welcome to the show, Mike. We're going to pick some winners tonight.
NFL authority. Jeff, for people that are aware of this, happy season. Happy Friday. We're going to put this out every Friday during the season for the crack. So the Lions or the Chiefs won last night, and we're too tired to record on a Friday morning, but we're here. We're in your ears, folks. Hope you enjoyed the first game if you stayed up, and hope you enjoyed it even if
All right. Now, wait a second now. We could still express our opinions. We could still make a pick.
Absolutely.
In spite of Travis Kelce's late injury, which I think will probably hold him out of the game. I think if they're smart, they do anyway. But I'm going to say the Chiefs will beat the Lions at home, right? And what's your call for tonight's game?
Well, I would say because it's going out on Friday that it's already over, but I'm going to guess that Chiefs minus 7.5. And I don't think like this. The thing that really annoys me sometimes with the whole media aspect is like they're trying to make storylines out of like basically nothing. They have enough people there. Valdez Scantling, Sky Moore, they get the job done. Like Patrick Mahomes, for God's sake. Chiefs will have won last night. And how funny will we look in someone's ears in their car going to work on a Friday morning and they lose? Let's just first off, right? We are so back. It's not even like we are back, man. We're back. You announced yesterday your tour of Ireland. It's on sale to members now. It's on general sale on Sunday, 10 o'clock. But we're back, and obviously sláinte with that there, and we'll say no more. But let's because we've only got about 20 minutes. Let's jump into these games on Sunday. Some really interesting games in week one. Carolina going to Atlanta, Jeff. I mean, Atlanta look like a team that with Bijan Robinson could really be an offensive threat. And I like what they've built there over the last couple of years, especially when they've had a lot of question marks, even last year. Don't know what to expect with Carolina, but I feel like the Falcons are going to get it done at home for me. So I'm going to say the Falcons. And please bless us with your opinions and thoughts on this game.
Oh, I'm going to say the Falcons. So I think it's going to be a real close game. I think that there was positive signs in Carolina during preseason. I think that they still have a ways to go. It's difficult when you come into a new program and you bring in all kinds of new guys and new quarterback and all of it. So I think that obviously Coach Smith is in a better situation right now because he's had his team together. They're kind of they know what the expectation level is. This is now second year into the program, so I'm going to go with Atlanta in a game though that I think is going to be very close. I'm really anxious to see Bijan Robinson. I think he has a chance to get the amount of touches to be rookie of the year in the NFL. I think he's got the talent. I think he's got an offense that will get him the touches. And, I think he's going to be a superstar for the Falcons.
Cliff Battles rushed for the most yards by a rookie in his first game in 1932. Do you remember Cliff Battles playing, Jeff? 144.
Wait a second. What are you trying to say?
I'm joking. 144 yards against the Bears on October the 30th.
I don't think Bijan will rush for 144, but I would not be surprised to see him rush for over 100. And if he rushes for over 100, I think they'll have balance in that offense. It helps that young quarterback. And again, this is a team that has been built to run the football, and I think Bijan's going to get a number of touches tonight.
Rolling through, my man, rolling through. Texans at Ravens. I'm going to be quite simple here. You look at an offseason where Lamar gets the contract, all the hype goes into it. I just feel like home opener, Baltimore, Lamar balls out. OBJ is there as well. I'm going to say OBJ over 0.5 touchdowns. Lamar over 60 rushing yards on the day. Ravens win by 2 scores.
I'm gonna say, the thing with Lamar, I'll be surprised if he has over 60 yards rushing the football, because I think the emphasis of the offense now is on showing his ability to throw the ball from the pocket, and that's where he's been. It's been a challenge for him, and that's where they're going to have to do that to win in the playoffs. I think that they'll beat the Texans. I think the Texans are better. I think DeMeco Ryans is starting to get, build the culture that he wants. They've got good young players, but they've got a ways to go before they're able to play with the, team, the level of the Ravens. Ravens, I think, are a playoff team.
Mark Hogan has picked the Browns to win the AFC North. They entertained the Bengals week 1. Joe Burrow expected to be fine. I'm intrigued to hear your thoughts on this matchup, Jeff. Who do you think is going to win as we roll through these games? Because it's that sort of squeaky bum time thing, as Alex Ferguson used to say. You could see either team winning, but the biggest question mark for me is, what Deshaun are we going to get? Because everything else is grand for the Browns as long as he can work.
Well, that remains to be seen, and what you've got in Cincinnati, and obviously Joe has not been. He took no snaps whatsoever in preseason. He's had a challenge with his calf. I don't know. I've not seen the injury report. I don't know what story is there. If he's healthy, I would take Cincinnati. If he's not healthy, then I think that the Browns could upset them. The Browns are going to be a tough out for everybody. Look at that division, Mike. And I talked about this on Sky with Cameron Hogwood. When you look at that division, I think it's not in the unseeable future, or it would be no fluke or whatever you want to say. It wouldn't surprise me to have a team in that division like Cincinnati not make the playoffs, because you're going to be in a fist fight every week in that division. And so I think it's critical for both those teams to start off well. If you're the Browns and you make, if you're able to pull off the upset, it's a huge boost of confidence for you going forward. If you're the Bengals, it gets you, it gets you on the road. Last year they struggled, were 0-2 and had to, get hot down the stretch. So I think this is a huge game early in the season, but I'm taking Cincinnati if Joe Burrow plays.
I'm going to take the Browns in this game. I feel like the Bengals are going to come in a bit sketchy, but iffy. You're saying about Burrow not getting enough reps. I'll take the Browns in a close one, but the one that I'm really interested in, Jeff, is this game here. And I know you've been down on your boy Jacksonville going up to Indianapolis. And Jeff, the season's back when Jim Irsay's tweeting, roof open, roof closed, 1 p.m., baby. I'm pumped. I'm pumped for this weekend. Here's the crack for me, though, and I said it on the podcast on Thursday. A guy called Justin Fields set the NFL single-game regular season rushing record with 178 yards against Miami Dolphins not too long ago. No Jonathan Taylor. No problem, baby. No. Anthony Richardson's going to go 180 yards against the Jags and beat them on Sunday, man.
Let me say it this way. Hell no. No. All right. It amazes me. Now, I'm not saying the kid is unbelievably talented. Yes. Right. But do you know what? Those coaches in Jacksonville, they haven't been sleeping all training camp. Right? You think they don't know they've got to keep that kid in the pocket and stop the run? Right? I would be shocked if he rushes for 100 yards. I would be shocked. I think what you're going to see is Jacksonville is much better than Indianapolis. Now, you look at Trevor, the second year in Doug's offense. They have done an awful lot, I think, to help him. Defensively is going to be the key. How much better are they defensively? Because, this is a team that is going to score some points, right? And this is a team that will be well coached and disciplined and, do all the little things well. The question will be, do they have enough playmakers on the defensive side of the ball? And will we see, the kind of, turnover mentality defense that I think Jacksonville is going to need to develop to be an elite team. I think they're a better team. I'm not sure they're an elite team until their defense starts taking the ball away more. And so I'm going to say Jacksonville. And again, this is going to be when we start to really see what Anthony Richardson is, because he's going to get the full metal jacket now, because the defensive coordinators, it ain't preseason, and you ain't evaluating players, and you're playing more than 4 coverages, and the whole package is going to come at him now. We'll see how he does.
Time will tell. We're bouncing on this picks podcast with Jeff Reinebold and talking about picks at the time of recording, Jeff. as per our sponsors, 888 Sport, the official bet partner of the NFL in Ireland and the UK. I've come a long way with flexing different topics here. I want to go and fit into it. Big shout out to them, though. Minnesota, -6.5 points on the handicap against Tampa Bay at home is, I haven't got the odds in front of me, but the odds are excellent. Surely this is too good to be true, Jeff, because I can't see Baker Mayfield going into Minnesota and winning against the Vikings and Kirk Cousins. Really?
Well, I think this is really an interesting spread, and I think it's really an interesting game because, you know, the Tampa Bay is not the Tampa Bay of a couple of years ago, when they were winning the Super Bowl. This is a different Tampa Bay team. Now, some of the defensive parts of it are still around, and they've lost some very, very good offensive linemen. Baker's going to have to shoulder a little more of the burden. I think 6.5 is too big, especially on the road for Tampa Bay. So I would, if I was betting the spread, I'd take Tampa Bay. Again, I think Tampa should win the game, but again, they're going to have to get enough stops. They're going to have to make some plays on defense against, I think, a really underrated Minnesota Viking offensive football team.
I'm going to take the Vikings by 12.5 points, 13 points. I know you say you can't win by half point, Jeff, so I wanted to get that right there. Tennessee at New Orleans is interesting because, you've got the expectation around Tennessee. How can they build this year with a team which is a little bit aged in that sense? You've got a situation where you're bringing in DeAndre Hopkins as well. How is that going to work out? But more so, I think not enough respect being given on the other side of the ball to New Orleans and Derek Carr. So I'm a really interesting game. Games in New Orleans are always fun to watch. I know you were there last year, Jeff, with Ben and the team at Touchdown Trips, but underrated game in my opinion. I think it'll be a close game. I think New Orleans will come out in top field goal.
Well, for the NFL fans in Ireland, UK, and everywhere where you're listening to this, if you ever get a chance, get to a game in New Orleans, because a game in the Mercedes-Benz Dome, we used to call it the Superdome, is phenomenal. The noise is unbelievable, and the intensity and passion of the fans in New Orleans is outstanding. I think this is going to be a really interesting game because Derek Carr is seen now as the savior of that franchise in New Orleans. And I think this is a team that not very long ago was firmly in its Super Bowl window, still has a tremendous amount of good players on that football team. It's going to come that the Saints will go as Derek Carr goes. They'll go as far as he can take them. I think, it's hard for me to ever bet against Mike Vrabel. I think Mike Vrabel is one of the most underrated coaches in the National Football League. I think they'll be tough. I think they'll be disciplined. And you hit on it. When you bring D-Hop into that room, think about it. You're going to have to play 8 in the box to stop the run because their running game is outstanding. And when you do that, you're going to get single coverage outside. Now, is Lattimore going to travel with him? I think that's going to be one of the interesting things in this game. But I think that he's going to shake loose for enough big plays that I'm going to take Tennessee on a road win. And that's a little bit of a reach, but I just like Tennessee. I like Mike Vrabel, and any team that can run the ball with Derrick Henry has a chance.
Let's roll through this one quickly before we look at the game that's on Sky this weekend. Arizona at Washington. Josh Dobbs just been announced when we're recording this podcast. He's expected to start for Arizona. I'm taking the Commanders to win this game, and for everyone in Washington to freak out and say, oh my God, we might have a team to only lose week 2. And Arizona, I mean, where do you start?
Arizona's not a very good football team right now. Now, again, what they will be, we will see. All right. But Josh Dobbs is a career backup. Love the kid. Josh Dobbs had a great career at Navy, all right, all that stuff. But this is the NFL, and he's not a starting quality quarterback in the National Football League. I think that Washington is one of the teams that you can look at to maybe make a statement this year. I could see them winning 10 games. I could also see them winning 6 games. It just comes down to how Sam Howell, I think, is going to be a revelation in Washington. They've got weapons outside. They play good defense. I think that there's Commanders will win this one and win it by 10 points.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Uh, One of the biggest games of the weekend is the Niners going into Pittsburgh. The whole talk around Kenny Pickett is year two improvement. We don't know at the time of recording if Nick Bosa signed his contract, and we won't really know until close to the game. Even if that happens, he's not expected to play a lot of the game anyway. Jeff, this is a huge game. Pittsburgh are going to give up points because of how good that Niners offense is. Kenny Pickett, new offensive captain, going to have a lot of pressure on him. I just feel like, and I know I'm biased at this point, but I feel like Pittsburgh can get the job done in a close game, 34-31. For me, this is the game of the weekend. This is the standout game. It's on Sky Sports. Very intrigued to see how these teams play.
I'm gonna take Pittsburgh too, Mike. But I think 34-31. You're talking about 65 points between two good defenses. I mean, you look at Steelers have outstanding personnel at every level of that defense. And the same thing's true at with San Francisco. Now they've lost DeMeco Ryans, but again, the coordinator loss is not as bad as player loss. And you look at both of these teams, even if Bosa doesn't play, are stacked on defense. I think this will be a low-scoring game in the 20s, and I also think it's going to be a game that the Steelers will win at home.
I think it'll be. I think it'll be high. I think it'll be that rusty defense week one of the season. I think Christian McCaffrey will have a good day as well. It's on Kenny to pick it up for them. Excuse the pun, that was really not intended. Deontay Johnson, Jeff, didn't have a receiving touchdown last year. He gets one this Sunday against the Niners. Going into the late window, is this going to be called your Express Pick Show? Because I quite like it. It's nice. We'll leave the Beezer, the game that, in my opinion, should be on TV to last. First off, Vegas at the Broncos. I don't know what to expect from this Broncos team. I don't know what to expect from this Vegas team. This is the one game this weekend where I'm like, what the hell do I expect? I just don't know, Jeff. So can you please give me your your experience?
What can you expect from the Broncos? I think the Broncos will be much better. I think the Broncos will be much more balanced on offense. I think they'll protect Russell Wilson much better. I think you'll see them run the football and mix in play action. I think you'll see some of the creativity that we expect out of a Sean Payton offense. I think it's an opportunity for Russell Wilson to prove that he can still play. This is a big year for him. On the other side, I think the Raiders are going to be better. I think that Jimmy Garoppolo is a better fit for Josh McDaniels than Derek Carr was. The question will always be with the Raiders, can they stop anybody, right? Until they establish some defensive, prowess, then it's going to be tough. They're going to have to outscore folks. I don't know if they're going to be able to outscore Denver. Denver has some, I think, really underrated defensive personnel. I'm going to look for the Broncos to win at home in a close one.
I agree with you. I think it'll be a close game, but for me, it's a toss-up because you feel like you're going to either see an improved and regenerated sort of performance from Russell Wilson where the offense gels better. They should have kept Albert Okwuegbunam and got him on the 53-man roster. They should have found a way, in my opinion, to have him start in week one. And that's not happening. I have a feeling that this is stinks, but Broncos lost by a field goal against the Raiders. I don't know what it is. I'm really intrigued to see how Jimmy G comes out and plays. So that's a big one for us. We've got 9 minutes, my man. 9 minutos. This game is on Sky. Now, me and you, and we have no say in what's on TV, Jeff, but Miami against the Chargers. Nice game. Miami going all the way out to LA for this game, and that could be a major factor on the basis of I like the way the Chargers can play at home. They had the odd hiccup last year, but we're going to see Tua, we're going to see Herbert, we're going to see the progression with both these teams, high expectations, and only one team can win, man. Who's it going to be?
Well, Miami should win. They're the better team on paper. And, I think how quickly Miami's defense adjusts to Vic Fangio and his system. I think he's one of the outstanding defensive coordinators in the National Football League. They were a blitz every down team last year, blitz happy team. I think he's going to bring some balance to that defense. He's going to understand with the 3-4 how to get to the pressure, how to get to the quarterback with 4 guys. They got really, really good personnel, and offensively, they're outstanding. They're a track team. Here's the issue with Miami. How do you keep your quarterback healthy? And that's the biggest key for Miami. If he's healthy, they should win. If he struggles, if he gets knocked around, I think that's going to be the biggest key all year. You got to keep Tua on his feet. You got to protect him. And I think Josh will do that if they can establish the run and throw play action and not put it all on Tua. The Chargers are kind of like hiding out there in the weeds. You got a great quarterback in Herbert. You got a great wide receiver. You got players, and they have always been that team that everybody looks at and goes, why aren't they better? We'll see. This is a huge year. I think the Chargers are in a year where they're looking at, hey, this is playoffs, or we're gonna make some changes around this joint. So I'm gonna take Miami on the road, and again, this is the easiest east to west trip Miami will ever make, because it's to start the season. So they didn't play last week. They don't have that to worry about. They've been out there for a couple days. Again, it's tough to travel east to west, right? But if you're going to have to make that cross-country trip, you want to make sure it's 3 time zones different. You want to make sure you're doing it before the season so that you have extra time to get on that, acclimatize to that time. Take the Dolphins.
I'm going to take the Chargers. I think it'll be a high-scoring game.
No, it's amazing about you, Mike. You are like you say you're a Bronco fan, but I think you're just somewhere in there. That light blue and yellow of the Chargers excites you in some way, and you're a closet Charger fan.
It's hard not to enjoy Justin Herbert. I think he's unbelievable. He is class.
He is.
We've got limited time, so let's roll through a couple quickly here. Are we in agreement that Seattle are going to beat the Rams? Yeah, I mean, like that's
should beat the Rams. Should beat the Rams. Seattle's a better football team. Again, let's see about Geno Smith too. That's what's going to be interesting to see. What is he going to be like in his second year? They've got good young running talent, improved offensive line, and again, we'll see about that defensive line. But I understand Cooper Kupp is questionable for this one, so if he's not 100%, you can double down on Seattle, in my opinion.
Interesting start of the season for Belichick and the Patriots, welcoming the Eagles to Foxborough. Jalen Hurts, who is so motivated after what happened last season, coming in there. All the storylines. The Patriots have not improved on the offense at all. And I think you said it in the podcast about Juju. This is a huge moment for the Patriots, a big moment for the AFC East. I feel, Jeff, that the Eagles are going to go in there and put a marker down on them. And I feel it won't be close. And that's all I'll say.
Michael, I agree with it. I agree with you. I think the Eagles are winning the football game. I think they could win it by as much as 10. But again, you're talking about a guy that has defensive players and is one of the better defensive coaches in the history of the National Football League, in Bill Belichick. What's going to be fascinating to me is going to be to see what Bill O'Brien on offense will be able to cook up with. He's trying to cook for a banquet, and they gave him, some bad ingredients. So he doesn't have much to make his dinner with. And I think it's gonna be interesting to see what he does, but I just don't see how they have enough offense to stay with the Eagles.
Maybe he could mix a wee bit of mayo into that as well. We've got 3 games to look at. You like that, Jeff? You like that?
No.
The game, in my opinion, that should be on Sky Sports, and I have no say in this whatsoever, is Green Bay, Chicago. The storylines here. Jordan Love's first proper start for the Packers, going into Soldier Field week 1. All the Bears fans believing this is our time, this is our moment. What a game. And Jeff, I am taking the Green Bay Football Packers. Jordan Love goes out and throws 4 passing touchdowns, 320 yards.
Back off. He's down there, buddy. I'm going to take the Packers too, but I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
To go into Chicago stuff. I mean, that's a tough place to play. I'm still not sold on Fields. I got to see more. I think the Packers have just a better roster, to be honest with you. And if what we saw, and this will be interesting. I can't say for sure. I know even if what we saw out of Love in preseason is an indication of what he's going to do this season. I think the Packers are fine. But like we said about Richardson, when you're a rookie quarterback or a young quarterback, you're not getting all the coverages, all the looks, all the disguises, all the blitzes, all of that stuff in preseason that you're going to get in the regular season. So I'm sure the Bears, and Eberflus is a defensive coach. He understands he's going to have to confuse that young quarterback and make him throw it to the wrong guy and, stop the run. But I just think that the Packers top to bottom are still ahead of where the Bears are in terms of roster.
There's your Instagram reel, which I will make. Don't worry. Sort of that. You have to collab with us for that one. 2 or 3 minutes left. 2 games. Dallas, Giants, waiting all day for Sunday night. MetLife, both games, Monday Night Football as well. Big storylines. You pay Daniel Jones. You disrespect, in my opinion, Saquon Barkley and everything he done for that team coming back last season. In my opinion, Jeff, against Dak Prescott playing for his life. Tony Pollard's now the RB1 officially. Oh my God. I'm taking Dallas by 14. I think Dallas go in and ride the wave, and the New York media start pulling their hair out. And oh my God, it's going to be nuts. For me, Dallas wins this game on Sunday, Jeff.
I'm taking the Giants. I'm taking the Giants because, number one, it's in New York, right? Tough place to play. You got to go on the road. I think the Giants have done an amazing job of, in 1 year, that Giant organization has done an amazing job of putting talent around that young quarterback. They went out and got Isaiah Simmons during training camp, who was a 7th player picked in the draft a couple of years ago, and they got him for a 7th round draft pick. And I think Wink Martindale will do a great job with him. This is going to be a fun one to watch because these are 2 explosive football teams defensively and 2 explosive football teams offensively. So whichever quarterback plays the best in this game wins. And I'm going to say that New York, if they can protect him, this is the biggest thing. If Parsons is able to wreck the game for the Giants, it's going to be tough. But if they can make sure that they keep Daniel Jones on his feet, let him get through his progressions, I think that the Giants will win this one.
I've missed this, Jeff. This is great. Last game, Monday Night Football. God help the bags under my eyes. God help the coffee pot. Buffalo, New York Jets. I'm going to call this the changing of the guard. Aaron Rodgers goes out and absolutely balls out. Monday Night Football, place going nuts. And Rodgers and the Jets and the offense and the defense makes a huge statement in the AFC East. And then on Tuesday morning, everyone's going, is Buffalo's window closing? Yeah, there's your storyline for the week. I have them winning 31-14.
I think the Jets are going to win the football game. I think there's too many. There's a huge hole in the middle of that defense right now in Buffalo. Who's going to be their middle linebacker? Obviously that's important to them. They've got to show, Buffalo to me has got to show that they can effectively rush the passer, right? And that's been a problem in the past. You got to change your coordinators. Now the head coach is going to call the plays on defense. And, that I think Sean would tell you that's a really tough job to do, to manage the game, to manage your clock, to manage your challenges, to manage the, timeouts and call defenses is really, really difficult to do. I think that this is an opportunity for the Jets to make a statement to the world about who they really are. There's been a lot of hand-wringing in Buffalo this preseason about, they have not performed particularly well. As a matter of fact, Josh Allen had to go into the game, the final preseason game, to try and get a drive together so that they had some confidence coming out of training camp. So I think I'm going to take this one. I think will be the Jets by 10.
Well, Jeff, I tell you what, love the picks. I know we're going to do it all season long, maybe at least 2 episodes a week during the season, could be 3 a week. Bring it on, man. Special guests. We're going to have the crack in Vegas, and before you know it, we'll be in Vegas. So gotta love it, gotta embrace it. I wouldn't want to be doing this with anybody else. So looking forward to, I know you'll be back over here very soon for people to get their tickets.
Yeah, every week, fans, you got to check in, because right here on the Jeff Reinebold Show, we will make our picks, and then we'll break down the games for you post game, right? So again, you're going to get an awful lot of football out of us. And thank you so much. A big mahalo nui loa from 888 Sports, the official betting partner of the NFL in both the UK and Ireland, and the official sponsor of the Jeff Reinebold Show. Aloha.
Jeff, we will live Monday night.
Let's do it.
Let's do it, baby. Let's do it. Enjoy week 1, folks. Enjoy your weekend. That's the last podcast for now. Chat to you soon. Aloha. Or mahalo or aloha, Jeff?
Aloha.
Aloha.